Oh, mate.
Yeah, that's a deep one, but I think people are going to enjoy that. Oh, if they do watch that 7 a.m. potty.
It is. Quick, just want to double check what number podcast is this? Just making sure they're on the same repeat as last time.
It's number 7. Oh, no, you wanted me up.
Welcome to podcast number 7. I'm joking.
Right.
Welcome to podcast number 8, guys. 7 a.m. and today we're up. I got our golf weekend, so just getting the podcast done before I shoot off to Invermere. There's about 15 or 20 of us going to play golf for the weekend. So first round of the year, 3 rounds. Haven't played much. Been in Bali for the last few years and have not played any golf.
Yeah, but you were really good. We went up to there's a driving range. There's a range up here on the nice.
That's a driving range if you can hit a driver.
Yeah, well, it's true. And it's really nice. It was like, you've got your swing still there, mate.
I can still play.
I was following behind, just not as good.
Nah, well, the thing is, with that is you just got to play. There's nothing to it. It's just, you just need to swing that club.
I've been looking at golf clubs around here just to get, I used to have some back in the UK and just got rid of everything when I was moving over here. So, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into it there. It's great just to go during the day, get a break from work and just go for a little swing, innit? So.
Yeah, mate, it's good. You're definitely beating me at the moment, so I'm going to have to get that competitive gear on and That was my amazing golf swing. I thought you were spanking someone. Right, we have to get into this. So we have had a good volume of call from the ads. So what's been happening, just to give some background for everybody, we went out, filmed our own ads, me in front of the camera, Rob shouting at me each line from script because I can't keep it in my head. But
it worked quite well. It actually worked really well.
It does, yeah. When you put some editing over that and then put it all together. I was speaking to one of their potential clients on the phone, and he was saying, "God, I keep seeing your ads everywhere now," and I'm like, "That's the beauty of ads, buddy. We're going to be doing that for you."
Well, I think what's perfect is, one, he's seen the ads, but 2, now he's watching the podcast and the clips. He says, you're everywhere. I can't get away from you. Yeah,
that's the joy of that content system now, firing out 5 pieces of content a day across 5 different platforms. It just means now that when someone follows us, they're getting hit from not only your profiles, my profiles, the ads. It's just a big ecosystem that just builds like a barrier of trust, because they're now spending time with us that we're not having to physically be there. So it just allows them to start to understand who we are and make them feel like they know us. There's actually a rule I'd learned from Daniel Priestley when I saw him talk live. He was saying, you probably need to spend around 7 to 12 hours with somebody for them to feel like they know you. And he said, I'm in this room and you probably, so there's some of you that feel like you know me really well and I don't know you.
Yeah.
That's just a nice...
That's a good point. Because like you say, you've had that client who've had on a call. He's not closed yet, but he's continuously watching us now and it's just worn him up even more. It's great. Yeah, it's really good.
The thing is, that's what, like, just to give him, for example, he's such a good opportunity.
Great opportunity.
He's doing mainly like metal, like construction stuff, and he's saying that he's missing out on this other market, and that's exactly where we can fit in perfectly. So he'd be a real good one to be one of the founding slots there. Obviously, if it gets filled before he makes the final decision, that's fair enough.
Yeah, well, like I say, he's got the right mindset of scaling his business with the systems that we can implement. It's just deciding if he wants to move forward and scale.
Yeah,
that's it. Does he want to make more money? If so, then let's sign him up. But yeah, super interesting times. Content's going really well. Ads are doing really well. We'll probably try a few more adjustments to those as the different hooks and stuff soon.
Yeah.
And what would you say for the guys? What would you say the average lifespan, if there's an exact answer to this, of an ad? Is it when it starts dying, or when is the time that you'd switch out a hook on an ad?
So it really depends on what they call the TAM, the total addressable market. So when you're going for business to customer, so B2C, you've got more of a big market because there's way more people in the scope that would be able to buy your product. When you're in B2B, which we are in, and we launched ads to talk to other businesses, immediately you shrink your TAM. And there's also TAM and SAM, service addressable market. But what happens is, because we're going for business owners and we're going in a certain niche that funnels it down and down, so now we're targeting a lot less people. I've even noticed we only spent about $1,000 so far, and we're already getting a frequency of like say 2.5, which means on average people have seen that ad 2.5 times. So that shows you how fairly like not massive that market is. So it would depend completely on how much people see it. If it gets to a frequency of about 5, 6, and it's only been a couple of weeks, it's definitely time to get some new stuff in there and just start answering other questions that customers might have.
Yeah, and they were launched Canada wide, not location specific too.
Yeah, correct. So that's the beautiful thing as well about Facebook is it goes and finds that perfect customer for you or the right kind of profile. So by going Canada wide, you're letting Facebook do its thing because you can break down where has it gone to, and really getting quite a lot of attention in Alberta, Ontario, and a tiny little bit of Ottawa like area. So
yeah, very cool. And these days, I know the algorithm for Facebook changes a lot. I'm sure it changes day to day. Do you still specify in the interest, or do you just let the algorithm do the work these days?
I would say you definitely want to let the creative do the talking. So that's why when we build ads, we build it with that end customer in mind, because back in the day it was I can hack the system game, but now it's all about how good are your scripts, how much do they talk to that person you want to talk to, and that's where our specialist knowledge comes in. Is very much we give that clear structure. We understand even just changing a few words changes the potential input and output of what you're going to get.
Sure.
So it's people think I'll just put something in Facebook and it's going to work. I'm telling you, I thought that 5 years ago, and I learned some hard truths, and I got burnt a lot. Spent my own money. I spent hundreds of grand on running my own Facebook ads and other people's, millions on other people's. And it takes a long time to understand the craft.
Sure.
So,
yeah, that's the cost of business and cost of getting good at something.
Yeah, it is, mate. It's a good learning curve, but really great questions, man. I'd say that we're going to tighten them up. They already are. We've found the angle that seems to work, so it's now going to be building off that specific angle with the ads, and then trying to find other pain points that we can target and talk to, so that we bring in that attention. But it's so funny. Just some insight. When we've been going on these calls with potential customers, one of the things he said was, I see ads all the time, and he said, I don't usually jump on these calls, which was really interesting. He said, but your one spoke to me directly. And I just thought, there you go.
Which is great, because we're selling, when they jump on a call, we're selling them that the system that they have seen and has got them on the call. So, we obviously running an ad, setting them up onto a call, and that's what we do for them. So we're kind of, selling the service that they have seen, which is such a nice way for them to jump on a call and go, okay, so why did you jump on this call? And that reason, but their intent behind that is what we can do for them, for their customers too, which is really nice.
Yeah, the main answer that I'm noticing from these Facebook calls that we're getting booked in is, and I'm saying, well, what made you jump on the call today? And it's essentially, your ad spoke to me, and I know that I could be doing more. That's the baseline. And then they go through our system. So they go get the ad, go into our system. They then receive the AI SMS. So it books them in the call, and we can watch it. We see it from our end. We just see it in the app, and we see the conversation happening, because we're obviously checking, making sure it's going through smoothly, which it has done every single time, 100% hit rate, and then books them in the calendar, and boom. Imagine from their side of things, if you're someone with a business and you're listening in, imagine a situation where you could be hands off, the ads are being all ran for you, you then have the AI SMS that books in the potential customer, and all you do is just make sure your calendar's up to date, so you get someone in your calendar and you've done nothing other than live your life and go build your business.
Yeah. Yes. And it's one of those things that I think we're finding jumping on these calls is a lot of these business owners are still in the business. And with a system like this, it helps you to get out of the business and work on the business rather than in the business, because working in the business, you're in the day-to-day, you're messaging people back, you're doing book calls, you're all the things that come alongside running a business. But this is one of the steps that can help you work on the business, which is great, because we can come in with a business, help them scale, but we can also, I think one of our actual main goals is to bring out the business owner to take a step outside the business and work on it instead of in it. And it's so exciting to see that. You can see the spark in the business owner's eyes when they can see that, you know, what we can offer is what they've been looking for. And it's not just ads that we do. You know, we offer, you know, a spectrum of marketing services, and to be able to go in and implement them is so exciting.
Yeah.
Super, you know.
Just to give people some more context, we've signed up several clients now, and we went and met with one the other on Tuesday, and we were going through just the requirements of what we're going to need to be able to then fulfill the services. So that's going to be the AI receptionist, and then obviously finish off the website. And we were talking through the goals, and the amount of energy he had saying, this is how I want a business. And he could see, was it the previous agency had said to him, oh, it's going to take 2 days to do this. Oh, this isn't possible. You turned around and just looked at him and went, no, that's wrong.
Well, like I always say to him, we've discussed when we started, you know, doing this business, is the key is to never put someone else down. Because we're always going to jump into, you know, I'll jump into other people's websites. You're going to jump people's ads accounts. And it never looks good slagging that other person off. But there are always times where it's like if anyone takes their car to a garage, you don't know if they're being stitched up. You don't know if they're lying to them. It's the same with all these things. And I don't like it when other businesses lie to other business owners and say something's going to take 2 days and charge them a few $1,000s when it's literally a 20-minute job.
And to give some context around this, one of the things that he said was, oh, on May the 1st, our contract ends with this other company, and they've said for our online forms on our website to continue sending emails to us of our lead flow, it's going to take 2 days in a Zapier account to get that sorted. And what was your answer?
I can't remember.
It was essentially, no, you don't have to do that. I can do it instantly just by logging in, doing this, and then you sort it out.
And then, yeah, just get the login details. And so the thing is, most of these things aren't that complicated. It's about time, energy, and just figuring it out. And they said a dev was going to have to do it. But yeah, it's sorted now. And we're now working on the new site. You never really want to log into someone else's website. It's like getting through someone's underpants drawer. Don't know what you're going to find. You don't know what you're going to find. So try at all costs to keep out of someone else's WordPress website, things like that. But sometimes you've got to log in, see what data they have, and there's a few things in there. But sorted. So yeah, just building out the new site now, which is super exciting. Been getting a few first versions over to them. I really love the design of the site that I've started implementing, and yeah, they're super happy too. So we're just doing the phase 1, which is just get the brand design and the bases together, and then we work on the more granular things, you know, the imagery, the content, and things like that. So super excited to get this launched. Hope it should be done by the end of next week, which will be great. They get a new site, it will start ranking and start bringing in them some new work through the SEO, and then we'll get the ads going.
Perfect. That's the good plan, I think. And that's what we said, essentially. Their contract, the final invoice for their digital marketing agency at the moment is the end of this month now. We're in May 2026. And they're essentially saying, we're in a bit of a jam with them until then. And I just said, just let me get in the account. I'll have a look at what they've done. I'll be honest, from what I've seen from the reports that they've been given, probably potentially there's a better way to do some things. And again, same like you, I don't really like saying, someone's done this. It's just, this is what they've done factually.
You don't know the reasoning sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why has he done that? You don't know the intent behind it. So you can only judge something with no information, or you can look and see but no backstory. So you don't know the truth.
And that's the thing. And I've come across it sometimes, because the way that you can run ads, there's plenty of different ways, for example, to run ads. And I've had it before where someone's come in and said to my stuff, and then they've said to the business, obviously they're trying to get the business. I understand that's their whole purpose, isn't to come in and say, look, there's this and this that they said about one of the things that I was doing. And they said, why have you done it this way? And I was like, you have to do it that way because this. And he was like, oh, I just didn't see it that way. And I was like, yeah, man, if you do it that way, all your costs are going to go, I guarantee you.
Well, like you say, some people try and do it the they don't cheap out, but a lot of people that run ads, you'll probably go into this a bit deeper, but go for views and impressions rather than revenue. The only thing that really matters about running ads is ROI. Are they making more money when they spend compared to when they don't spend on ads?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are, look at the impressions, look at the views, or we're getting more followers, but is the business making more money? Overall, okay, there's times where you need to, do different angles and different things, but overall, year to year, does ads increase their revenue?
I've worked on jobs where we've done big events, and I've been put in a position where they've said, can you do this with the views? Can you do that? And I've said explicitly, I can do it for you. I'm just going to tell you now, your budget's going to be burned and it's not going to give you what you want in terms of revenue. And they've actually explicitly said, no, we want this. And I was like, okay, I can do it and I will do it if that's what you want. I'm just going to tell you the outcome. And they've just said, yeah, fine. And I'm like, okay, that's your money. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah,
I can only be your advisor.
Yeah, agreed. That's fine, but that works at the time. But then I can only imagine they look back afterwards, even though they decide that and go, we didn't make as much money. Well, that's what you told me you wanted, So long term, I guess it's good to educate the business owner, tell them what the truth is, figure out what that is, and then that long-term relationship can just be a better and more pure and more honest, rather than go, views, impressions, great, this is going to make me look good. However, long-term is detrimental potentially for the business.
Yeah.
Because then they might be scared to run ads again, because they might look back and go, we got these views, but it didn't make us any money. It doesn't work.
That's one of the questions I've had in the past and explained. When people have said, I've run ads and I've been burnt and this, and I'm saying, when you said that, what is it they've done? How has it happened? And I think even the recent guy, the recent team that we've signed up over here, we've sat down and explained everything, and I've just given them options. Like, this is the goal. And then they say, what's the situation? I say, well, you've got these options. You can do this, and this will most likely be the outcome. You can do this. This will most likely happen. Even with the AI receptionist that we built and put in that thing, because they wanted to do so much extra. And I said, okay, leave it with me. I'll go see what I can do. Even just to the point of, they wanted an emergency SMS text to go out, but also try and transfer to someone else. There's a lot of layers there. There's a lot of layers that come with all these different, it sounds like a little tiny tweak, but actually there's a load of functions that come alongside it. And then there's another software that has to be used to make sure that's implemented. So it's always just saying it can be done.
Yes.
I'm just letting you know this is what will happen.
Yeah, sometimes it's about expectations. And obviously, to be fair, you've done a great job on that. The receptionist is coming together really nicely now. Super excited to get them to test it out and get their hands on it, because we sent them a demo before. The demo works nicely, but a demo is something that we put together, so it's easy. But then once they come back and they want their feedback and they want a few extra features, that's when you prove your worth. So super excited to get them to test it. Super excited to hear that the whisper.
So just to give some context with the AI receptionist, what one of their requests was, if we have an emergency call, like somebody needs us immediately, can you transfer to this number, then this number, and send an emergency text? And then I was like, it's definitely possible, but let's look at the whole landscape, because we're already using the AI number on your number. If we then transfer to your number, you're going to create a loop, because it's going to try and transfer to you, then it will transfer to itself, and then the customer's forever going to be stuck in a loop. So let's do it a different way. Let's do it here's my suggestion. And then he was like, that makes sense. So we're going to do an emergency transfer to his business partner. If the business partner isn't available, just fall back, let the customer know, and then send an emergency text to both business owners. And what I wanted to do was this lovely little feature where you can do a whisper. And a whisper is where, as the call comes through to the business owner, it says, hi, you've got this person, this is their issue, this is an XYZ that they might need, and then it passes them through with a warm transfer. There's a bug at the moment in one of the softwares that prevents that from happening, but what a wonderful feature, I think.
Super excited to test that out and hear that, yeah. Because I remember you said to me, because my phone went off, she's like, did she whisper to you? I was driving. I was like, I'll be back in a minute. And you're like, did she whisper? I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. So
I assumed she was going to go, hello, Rob. We have someone on the phone for you.
no, so back in the day, I used to work in a call center, and they used to have whispers in your ear. And what used to happen is it used to go, doo, and then it would say whatever. I used to work in a financial customer service, so it'd be like ISA, CIA, or it'd be like CRA, which are their different products. So you'd know what you're going to be dealing with when it comes through. So it's lovely to have a whisper as the person receiving the call, because you know what to. It frames what you're just about to experience.
Yeah.
So if for a customer, we can have a framing that says, you've got John Smith,
Sure.
he's got this problem and he wants this outcome.
Yeah.
Then immediately you can have that come through, and you can be like, oh, hey, John, I just heard that you're looking to get this solved. That's such a nice transfer, because otherwise they're going to repeat themselves, because it's a cold transfer, which is you don't know what's happened. And then they've already just said, I've got this problem, and they've got to repeat themselves.
But it just makes the whole flow for one, the business owner, to the customer, because like you say, you don't want the business owner to answer the phone after they've just explained their situation to the AI receptionist. At least then the business owner can answer the phone and go, Steve, sure, yep, I know your issue, and getting it straight to solving the problem rather than then going around, because if it's in an emergency, you don't want to speak for another 5 minutes. You want the issue to be dealt with as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I think from my experience, that was although the 9 to 5 wasn't for me personally, working in that job gave me a real insight. They were so hot on customer service, making that to be the best experience for the customer, have that foresight, so they have to have as little touch point as possible so they get their answer. I definitely feel that's come into my business world I'm always trying to think, well, if the customer has to do this, how do we make it so easy for them?
Yeah.
Because then it's going to be a better experience. And that I'm definitely noticing when we're building all these different tools, that's the thing in mind.
Yeah.
What makes it easier for our clients to get the answers, just to move forward a lot quicker? Which brings me on to our CRM, the onboarding tool, etc., that you've made. Wow, again, I know I mentioned it last week when we did this podcast, but fantastic, mate. And we've sent it off to the first few, and the feedback's really good so far.
It's been really good. Yeah, super exciting because initially we were just building it as an onboarding tool, and then another 12 hours later, we've just got a full CRM, a back-end system that can, we can run our business on now, which is super cool. I say 12 hours. It's taken a few days to do. It's taken a lot of work. Super excited to get going in there, though. Super nice. We can see our revenue, we can see the whole back end, and then we can onboard our clients, because we have so many different, not so many different services, but a few different services for the marketing side of things, onboarding people, so all that means is, when clients come on, let's say we're running a starting a website or their ads, there's always information that you need to get from them back and forward. And instead of just sending them like a Google Doc, we can send them a checklist, specified just for that business, to get all the information for them with how-to guides and things like that. So we can get all the access to their website, their domain hosting, and even the Facebook ads, and it just gives them all that information. They can log in, go through it like a little course type thing, and it doesn't feel like work. That's what I tried to do. I tried to gamify it so it feels like, wow, I'm playing a game. This is not work. There's a bit of confetti. There's just it just feels nice. There's actually like, people don't feel intimidated by it. It's a nice onboarding process. We got a welcome video. So as soon as they log in, we made a video where Adam's done a screen recording, just showing them through it. So again, it's just another touch point that, hey, we're here, guys. You're not left alone. We are here at every stage, which is what we want for our business.
Yeah, and what I love how you've done there is it is that gamification, because you log into this portal as a customer. From our back end, you can. I'll just explain the CRM very quickly. From our back end, we've obviously got the client, all the services that we offer, and then we tick them, and that sends it out to them directly. Then from the client side, they get to log in. They've got a welcome video that I've made, which goes through how to use it, and they can just click into, say, business profile, fill. And then when you press complete, one of the beautiful features you've got is this little confetti bomb just goes poof. It's so simple, but beautiful. And it gamifies the whole process. makes it a lot quicker for them because we get all the information we need, and then they can move on.
Yeah.
They can move forward, and then that's it.
And it just means, like you said the other day, like it's about when you pay for a service, it's about making them feel so important that you're dropping everything for them that day. Oh, can we book you in a call for tonight? You booked in. Okay, are you available tonight? Let's get going. Okay. And then the next few days you get the contract signed, you get the onboarding done, and within 2-3 days, everything is moving. Because like we say, you don't want to pay a load of money and then the onboarding, we'll do it next week. No. Businesses, most businesses know if they got a good service probably within the first 72 hours.
There is something that I know of called buyer's remorse. And if you pay for something and it's a shoddy experience, it just sets you up thinking that's going to be a real... And in my experience, I've paid stupid amounts of money and thinking this is going to be one of the things that elevates me, because I think you never go wrong paying for knowledge or paying for something that's going to move you forward, move you or your business. You always learn something. Most of the time that I've paid for, one of them was $7,500, and that's UK, so we're talking about $15,000. Yeah, man, I had buyer's remorse on that one. I was just like,
but then it just puts you in a bad frame of mind. Same as if you're in a bad mood and you see a puppy. If you're in a good mood and you see a puppy, you're gonna look at it in a whole different situation.
Yeah,
it's not a very good take on that one. I'll give, but
the Robbie metaphor.
That was a terrible metaphor. However, what I mean is, it's just the way that if you're in a good or bad, mental framework going into the partnership between us and them, if they're in a positive one, everything's just going to work nicer, and they're going to be more willing and more open to suggestions and things like that. But if they have a bad experience from the start, it's just not a good way to run it.
For me, it's about get everybody set up as soon as possible, and then let's get the services running because they pay for it. Like, I love that when you've paid for something, you see the outcome start to unravel, and you're thinking, "Wow, God, what I've paid this much, and I'm getting this much value." Because you never want it to be the other way around. You don't want them to feel like they've paid this much and they get this much. It should always. I like to over deliver all the time.
Yeah.
How can we make sure that you get a better experience, get a better outcome?
Yeah. Yeah. I think as we onboard more and more clients, I think we really need to focus on that first 72 hours and make that first 72 hours super engaging, and just us to be there for them, and super excited to onboard people and just really focus on that.
Yeah. I think anything that we can do better, let's implement it. Let's just give everyone that works with us the best experience, and then make them feel like, God, I've got to tell my mate about this. I've got to tell my other business owner friend about this. That's how I would love everyone to feel when they come work with us. Yeah,
you just want that. You want the business owner to have that spark in his eye.
Yeah, I love that feeling. And when helping,
and when we meet him, and when we do things, and when we do looms, generally, me and Adam have been working here for a few months now, and there are things where we're setting our own ways. We've both ran successful businesses, done web and ads, and Adam is a very big loom guy. I'm not. I'm generally not. And I said something yesterday, and it made me reflect. Actually, is Adam said, can you just to throw a loom together? Not throw, put a loom together for the guys when you send over the website. And I said something I actually said, is web designers don't do that. And as soon as I said that, I was like, what do you mean? That's not a thing. Like, just because the industry standards is not to do that doesn't mean that we shouldn't. And I went back and I thought about it again. I thought, it's just another touch point where, again, they just get to know you. Because I'm not a big, I've never done a podcast before, never done socials, and I've got work through word of mouth, so I've never had to do that. But I think I agree, it's just another touch point, and it's something I need to
I love that you're so open to all this stuff, though, like being on a podcast, letting me get your socials together, and sending out 5 pieces of content a day. And I think, and even yesterday with the loom, I loved that. I could tell there was a bit of resistance at the beginning, and I was like, do you know what? It's okay. Like I'll let you do it your way. That's absolutely fine. But then what I really enjoyed was that you came to me and was like, no, I've thought about it. I can understand the logic of where you're coming from, and I'm going to do it. And I've completely leaving it in your court. And I said, look, I'll do the loom if you really don't feel comfortable with it. But I love that you had this reflection, and then you sent it out, and I watched it, mate. And brilliant, mate. You're getting so much better in content.
Yeah.
Even these podcasts.
Yeah. Well, I think, like you said, like we mentioned before, like my brain works at 1,000 miles an hour. Like it was, it's very focused when it needs to be focused, really focused. But sometimes my brain works quicker than my processing of my speech. So sometimes I say oh, and I like flutter around like a thought sometimes, but it's just like my brain just processes on a different processing speed.
Yeah.
So
I found that after going through my ayahuasca journey, my mind used to be like that, but then since then, it's weird. It kind of like pushed all the stuff out the way, and I think, smoother and calmer, and so I know how it feels to be just like a million miles an hour. And I'm glad I've obviously done the ayahuasca thing. It definitely changed my life, but I don't want to take that. I've said to you, I would love to do ayahuasca with you, but at the same time, the way that you operate is, I feel like there's two of us. Yeah, I've been in business relationships where I'm the driver and I'm the dragger. And that's so hard to work with when you're the driving force of a business. But here, two competent guys that can do everything, like, and there's no picking up slack.
no,
That's the beautiful thing
well,
about
it's
us.
just nice now where you go, I'm doing this, and you ain't got to check it, because otherwise you just end up wasting a lot of time checking things.
I've been in those relationships, man, and I think like being in business with someone is like almost in a way a level of dating that you're kind of like, God, how much effort is this to be in this like business relationship? And to me, it's not effort. It's very much, I can get on with my stuff, you get on with your stuff, and we're going towards that goal.
Yeah.
And I've never once gone, ooh, what about that? That needs to be changed. It's always Rob, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, same. Yeah, so it's like you say, it is like a relationship, and sometimes I'll say harder.
Yeah.
Because, sometimes in a relationship you go, I'm just going to walk away and just leave it, but we got to get work done. There's stress and there's pressure, so you can't just walk away because I've got another 12 hours of work left to do, and there's 6 hours left. We need to quickly deal with this. And a lot of it is dealing with not necessarily like ego per se, but it's like your natural reaction. We both have natural reactions to things that so it's just dealing with that. And like you say, it's always the intent. It's not about the words, it's the intent. What's he mean by this? What's the intent by this? And just, yeah, it's super good, man. Super good. That's terrible English. I'm about to cut that out. Just it's super exciting, and yeah, man, let's go.
Let's do it. And finally, where we at? Wow, about 33 minutes.
What is the time? I've got golf soon.
Oh, it's 8:15 almost.
I'm gonna go check. I actually need to go check my phone.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
I'm going golfing. Phone's upstairs.
Yeah, but, well, I suppose we can save the lead gen report till next time, maybe.
We can quickly do it.
Okay, cool. And then final thing to talk about is, this one's been a long one, but because we've got so much actually we've done and talked about, lead gen report. So I thought at the moment we're running ads, and obviously when you run ads and you're going for the direct conversion, you are actually talking to such a small percentage of people that are ready to convert. And the next layer is, let's give people something of massive value so that they can then come into the ecosphere. And one of the things that I do on these sales calls, they essentially are sales calls, is I go through their website, their competitors, what they can do, what they're not doing, what the opportunities are. Essentially a SWOT analysis, like looking at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And I said, it'd be great if we can figure out a way that we can automate that. So I jump on a call and I've got all the data ready, because at the moment it's the manual element is getting it all ready. It's only like 20 minutes, but it's always, I like to know everything before I go on that call. And then we talked about how we automate that. So the plan is have a report that comes up and says all these things for these customers. But what about if we could do that and let them do it for themselves? And so they get the report and they can see all of that before they even decide if they want to talk to us. So talk me through how you've kind of pulled that together.
So yeah, we obviously looked at doing that for us, which I started working on, and then we sat down, we thought, well, why don't we just use this as a lead gen, a magnet to get people to fill in their details. We'll run a report and do a SWOT analysis on their, their Facebook ads, their website, their SEO, their Google business profile, and just give them actual scores. And real scores as well. So we're actually, I'm putting an actual calculations on certain parts of, we're putting our heads together, coming up to get, what ranks a website for SEO 0 to 100, what makes it, good, what makes it bad.
Yep.
If they're missing their H1, which is their main, driver for an SEO optimization, if they're missing that, is that minus 20 points? So how does it all work? So just putting a report together. So just doing that now. So they'll put in their, their website and a few things like that, and it'll go and it will do the research on them and 5 competitors. It'll put in all their website data, all their SEO, where they're ranking for their primary keywords. So it's super exciting. It's really cool.
That's so cool. What I'll do is when we've put that together, I'll probably link it in the actual description so that people can go have a play with it. If you're a business owner, copy details in, you can then see how you're ranking in your website, your Facebook ads, your competitors against you.
Yeah.
And then it'll just give you some insight, I think. I think this is more wider. It can go to all different businesses rather than just the niche that we're focusing on. So it might potentially open up other opportunities for us to help other businesses and anyone that does want to work with us. That's the whole thing, is how can we best help you?
Yeah. And the thing is, a lot of people, they do these reports and they're fake numbers, but we're actually pulling real actually, it's not just Claude going to pull the data, it's actually real scraping and real data collection. So yeah, super exciting. And when this started to work, I'm going, wow, this is great.
Yeah.
Super exciting to see the report start.
That's the key. Is I've seen too many tools which like pull a fake number and makes it up, whereas I said, and you've said as well, let's make sure this is real, true data so that it gives them a real tangible thing they can work on and say, okay, I'm here, how can I move it to here? If I get a score of 25, how can I move it to 75? And then the answers are in front of them, and it's just up to them. They don't have to choose if they don't want to, but at least they know that we can solve certain pain points or if they want it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Super exciting.
Let's go, man. This is a deep one.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Yeah. Just before we go away for the old golf trip, I've got to shoot off in 10 minutes. I'm being picked up.
Yeah.
I got my first round. I don't know what time the first round is. Later today.
Well, mate, I hope you have a wonderful weekend away, and we'll talk on the next one. Yeah. And let's see what we get up to next week.
Yes, sir. Have a great week, everyone. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, that's a deep one, but I think people are going to enjoy that. Well, if they do watch that,